If thou beest he, but oh, how fallen, how changed from him, who in the happy realms of light, clothed with transcendent brightness, didst outshine myriads though bright. If he who mutual league, united force and counsel, equal hope and hazard, in the glorious enterprise, joined with me once, now misery have joined in equal ruin. Into what pit thou seest, from what height fallen, so much the stronger proved he with his thunder, and till then who knew the force of those dire arms. Yet not for those, nor what the potent victor in his rage can else inflict, do I repent or change, though changed in outward lustre, that fixed mind and high disdain from sense of injured merit, that with the mightiest raised me to contend, and to the fierce contention brought along innumerable force of spirits armed, that durst dislike his reign, and me preferring his utmost power with adverse power opposed. In dubious battle on the plains of heaven, and shook his throne. What though the field is lost? All is not lost. The unconquerable will and study of revenge, immortal hate, and courage never to submit or yield, and what is else not to be overcome. That glory never shall his wrath or might extort from me, to bow and sue for grace with suppliant knee, and dicey his power, who from the terror of this arm so late doubted his empire, that were low indeed, that were an ignominy and shame beneath this downfall. Since by fate and the strength of gods and this imperial substance cannot fail, since through experience of this great event, in arms not worse, in foresight much advanced, we may with more successful hope resolve to wage by force or guile eternal war, irreconcilable to our grand foe, who now triumphs, and in the excess of joy sole reigning holds the tyranny of heaven. So spake the apostate angel, though in pain, vaunting aloud, but racked with deep despair. And him thus answered soon his bold compeer. O Prince, O Chief of many throned powers, that led the embattled seraphim to war under thy conduct, and in dreadful deeds fearless endangered heaven's perpetual King, and put to prove his supremacy whether upheld by strength or chance or fate. Too well I see and rue the dire event that with sad overthrow and soul defeat hath lost us heaven, and all this mighty host in horrible destruction laid thus low, as far as gods and heavenly offences can perish, for the mind and spirit remains. Invincible and vigor soon returns, though all our glory extinct, and happy state here swallowed up in endless misery. But what if he, our conqueror, whom I now of force believe almighty, since no less than such could have overpowered such force as ours, have left us this our spirit and strength entire, strongly to suffer and support our pains, that we may so suffice his vengeful ire, or do him mightier service as his thralls. By right of war, whatever his business be, here in the heart of hell to work in fire, or do his errands in the gloomy deep, what can it then avail, though yet we feel strength undiminished, or eternal being, to undergo eternal punishment? Whereto his speedy words the archfiend replied, Fallen cherub, to be weak is miserable, doing or suffering, but of this be sure, to do aught good never will be our task, but ever to do ill our sole delight. As being the contrary to his high will, whom we resist, if then his providence out of our evil seek to bring forth good, our labour must be to pervert that end, and out of good still to find means of evil, which oft times may succeed so as perhaps shall grieve him, if I fail not and disturb his inmost counsels from their distant aim. But see, the angry victor have recalled his ministers of vengeance and pursuit back to the gates of heaven. The sulphurous hail shot after us in storm, overblown have laid the fiery surge, that from the precipice of heaven received us falling, and the thunder, winged with red lightning and impetuous rage, perhaps have spent his shafts, and ceases now to bellow through the vast and boundless deep. Let us not slip the occasion with a scorn or satiate fury. Yielded from our foe, seest thou yon dreary plain, forlorn and wild, the seat of desolation, void of light, save what the glimmering of these livid flames. Cast pale and dreadful, thither let us tend from off the tossing of these fiery waves, there rest if any rest can harbour there, and reassembling our afflicted powers, consult how we may henceforth most offend our enemy, our own loss how repair, how overcome this dire calamity, what reinforcement we may gain from hope, if not what resolution from despair.